the time of 3:30 p.m. is Marriage in a Minute right here on Omega Radio.
From this moment.
Hey, radio listeners, this is Michelle Hyatt.
And this is Carim Hyatt,
host of Marriage in a Minute. Tune in every Saturday at 3:30 p.m. right here on Omega Radio Broadcasting Network for encouraging words on marriage.
And listen, guys, check out our new website, www.marriagevantagepoint.com. And remember, you are the MVP in your marriage.
From this moment.
Good afternoon, radio listeners. Welcome to Marriage in a Minute on Omega Radio.
Oh, my gosh.
Are we having technical difficulties?
No.
Oh, okay.
Down a little bit.
Yes. Thank you guys for listening today. We're here again in the studio, and we're just joyful to be here every weekend and on a Saturday talking about marriage. There's something going on in society, even in the church.
It's raining outside, yeah.
Oh, yeah. My wife has to give that weather report first. I'm sorry. I'm going ahead.
I just had to cut him off a little bit, but it's nice out. No, it's not really nice. It's kind of raining right now. So if you didn't get a chance to go out and do a little something in the morning, make sure you capture the rest of the afternoon. It is only 3:30 and
3:32.
Somebody's trying to be exact today, so that's the kind of attitude our marriage is, in direction our marriage is going today. Oh, you said this, huh? Anyway.
Yes, but it's really a nice day. A little sprinkle, but it was a little hot earlier this morning, so
it's cooling off a little bit. Yeah,
and you still have the rest of the afternoon.
So do something. Get out. Get out.
Yes, in Florida here, you have an opportunity to enjoy the weather. All over the world, it's different kind of temperature, different. But whatever it is, try to do something to enjoy outdoors. God gave us that outdoors that we can enjoy. But I was gonna say earlier, there's so much going on in marriages these days. It's like almost like like marriage is just another thing, and I think that's a part of the reason why there's so much divorce, because we're not taking marriage as the way God created it to be. We're taking it like the world thinks it should be, and I think that's a key part of why even in the church it's not considered worship, and marriage is really worship. So. We have a passion to see marriages change and transformed into the image of God, and that's the key aim that we should all have as children of God. So we could show others out there in the world, in their marriages, that's the model of what marriage should be. So, but today we're talking about a topic that it's very delicate, but at the same time it's very important. We all have expectations. We all want things to go a certain way. We all have plans. And in marriage, sometimes we don't set expectations, or we do set it, and then it doesn't happen. So we're talking about unmet expectations today.
See how long I let him? He just went off and off, and I didn't say a word.
That felt different.
So then he looked over like, are you going to say something? So anyway, unmet expectations, man, that really is big. It's huge for us because as we were talking, we realized that some expectations might not met. Yeah, that's a tongue tire for me. But anyway, they're still not met. But I think some of them are misplaced expectations. And, I didn't think about that while we were preparing. But some expectations aren't met. And I think some of them are just, they're not in line with being real. And that's what we're going to talk. But even though some of them really are out of line, so to speak, it doesn't matter. It does matter, but let me tell you the verse first. Proverbs 13, verse 12. It says, "Hope deferred makes the heart sick, right? But a longing fulfilled is a tree of life." Yeah. So even if you're expectations aren't met for whatever reason, whether they're realistic, they're good, they're bad, whatever, there is a longing, and unmet, your heart gets sick. So it doesn't stop it from being sick because they're unrealistic. So what we're talking about today is getting online so that maybe you take a stock of these expectations that you're trying to meet or give into or whatever, so that your heart doesn't get sick, because if they are not met, this is what it says: hope deferred. You're hoping for something that you've been longing for that you're not getting inside of your marriage. So hope deferred make the heart sick, but a longing, right, fulfilled is a tree of life. Yeah. And if you really think about it, if you're not getting something that you truly want or desired, how it makes you feel, not depressed. And sometimes it is as low as depression, but it makes you not feel well. It doesn't make your marriage thrive. It sets up for, and we're going to continue next week, but it sets up for bitterness, for resentment. Yeah. And again, just take it in the context of what we're saying, that if it's not fulfilled, whether unrealistic or not, you're gonna get some sickness. And when I say sickness, something's gonna go wrong. Whether it's
a broken heart, a heart that is not healthy, a heart that is not well. And if you think about it, in marriage, of course, you need to show love and respect and all that. That's what God says. But it makes it harder for you to, express that love from a heart that is not well. So, if you're hoping for something in the marriage and you actually set expectations in the marriage, before you got married or while you were dating, or, whenever you set the expectations, what you want, what you're looking for, and then it doesn't happen. It actually does something to you, like the Bible verse says.
Makes you sick when it's deferred, when you don't get it.
Right. Your heart gets sick. And when it uses the word sick, it's a wide range of meaning. So it can be that your heart is not at a place where you are
whole. You're not whole. Yeah, absolutely.
You can't operate well to show your spouse love or respect, or talk to your spouse in a kind way. And of course, we're supposed to do that, but it makes it harder. So what we're trying to say is, when you have an expectation set in the marriage, try to keep it. If you don't have it set, and then you see something that is going away, that is away from what it should be, set that expectation. Talk about it together.
And one of the things, were these expectations communicated while you were courting or dating? Right. And some of them are not. And that's what, I guess the point what we're saying today is, it really is never too late for you to go back to the drawing board and say, hey, this was my expectation. I know I never, and listen, the thing about it is, think about expectations. We have so many that we really can't communicate all of them. Yeah. But at the same time, it's like, so what if my husband's expectation was for me to stay home because that's how he's always seen his family, and we never communicated that. Yeah. But now I want to work, and it's frowned upon that I want to work and be, I don't have to be the breadwinner, but I just want to go out and not be a stay-at-home mom or a stay-at-home wife or whatever. So I think, and there are so many, man.
There's a one that I think is such a popular, common one, and it's really a problem in marriages. Usually, a man expects the wife to be the one to cook all the time. Right? And you're expecting it to happen, but you never really talked about it, because you're coming, as I'm coming from a background where I see my mom and my grandmother always being the one to provide food and cook and all that. And Michelle is from a family where it's the opposite. So we don't talk about it before we get married. Right. And then in the middle of the marriage, we don't see it happen. We're expecting it, but we don't see it happen. It creates a problem. So what we're saying is, talk about these things. You're a team, your husband and wife, your friends, you want the marriage to have love and joy. So when you bring these things out and talk about it and say, hey, this is what I was expecting, or this is. But make sure it's a realistic expectation, because sometimes we have unrealistic ones where it's just one-sided. So if it's something that you are desiring that is not outrageous, then, and it's so wide. But if it's something you're desiring, express it to your spouse. Talk about it. And of course, it might not be something that your spouse is used to, but out of love, you can compromise.
Yeah.
So.
And the thing about it, and we mentioned work and chores and whatever, but the idea is don't make assumptions.
Right. That's basically it.
Yeah. When you make assumptions and then that build your expectation, that's completely unrealistic expectation, because now you've built something in your head because of how you were raised, and then you expect this other whole human being who's was never raised that way to immediately step in and fulfill that when it was never communicated. And I think we say it all the time here, where not because something is communicated means it will be fulfilled.
Right.
It just means I am aware and you are aware, but it doesn't mean it gets fulfilled. So these are things that we're saying, hey, you've got to talk about it, that it's not a surprise in the marriage when we get married and I'm like, okay, great, I could quit my job now or whatever it is. And, we're really just, these are simple things, and it really isn't simple, because it's at the divorce court. It's at the steps of the divorce where, well, I thought he would do this, or I thought she would do this. And these are what we're talking about with expectations when they're not met, whether they're healthy or unhealthy, if it's not happening. So it makes the heart sick because it's hope deferred. So that's why we're saying that have a conversation about what you think. And like my husband says, it can't be, you've got to have five cars, 5 homes, 5 boats. Well, I really want those things.
Yeah, my wife wants a boat. I want the RV, and I told her we'll get the RV and pull the boat. So there you go. We our expectation will be met. But anyway, we're gonna dissect, some things that, some realistic expectations that we are going to talk about, and some unrealistic ones. So next week we're going to continue this topic on expectations that are not met, unmet expectations. But
and here's the thing. I'm sorry. And here's the thing. So we're saying, my husband just said we're going to talk about at some point that some of them are unrealistic and some are realistic. For you, they might seem realistic. For the other person, they're completely unrealistic. So that's why we're saying, hey, conversations need to be had. Yeah. And it's not too late. Yeah. It is not too late to talk about what's not being met and why.
Right. Because these things will create even worse conflict.
And tensions.
Unnecessary conflict. Yeah. You're going to have conflict, but these are unnecessary conflict because you can talk about these things. So make the time to bring them out. All right, guys. We're at the end of our program. It's 3:45 p.m. Join us next Saturday on Omega Radio. We're going to continue this topic on unmet expectations, and we hope that you guys are encouraging your marriages. We're praying for every marriage, all right? So, again, join us next Saturday on Omega Radio for Marriage in a Minute. Have a great
God bless you. Have a great week.
All right, Omega listeners, we do hope that you enjoyed today's segment of Marriage in a Minute here today, and that you'll tune in next week, Saturday, at the same time of 3:30 to 3:45 p.m., right here on Omega Radio. We would like to say a special thank you to the Hyatts for being a proud sponsor of this radio ministry. And of course, we do hope that you will tune in once again next week, Saturday, for Marriage in a Minute with your hosts, Carim and Michelle Hyatt, here on Omega Radio.
From this moment.
Hey, radio listeners, this is Michelle Hyatt.
And this is Carim Hyatt,
host of Marriage in a Minute. Tune in every Saturday at 3:30 p.m. right here on Omega Radio Broadcasting Network for encouraging words on marriage.
And listen, guys, check out our new website, www.marriagevantagepoint.com. And remember, you are the MVP in your marriage.
From this moment.
Hello, Omega Church listeners. Keep it tuned in to the station with the best variety of gospel music for every race, culture, and ethnicity.